The night shimmered with champagne and pride, exactly the kind of evening she thrived on. It was her birthday, and she had turned our home into a stage of laughter and admiration. Every candle flickered against the glass walls. Every guest seemed to revolve around her, and she soaked it all in. I lingered by the bar, smiling politely, watching her drift through conversations, her laughter too sharp, her hand lingering too long on shoulders that weren't mine. She glowed, yes, but her glow no longer warmed me. It blinded her instead. Her friend Kevin, the brash, overconfident type who thought charm was a currency, was already 3 drinks in when he decided to target me. "You're a lucky man," he said, smirking loudly enough for everyone to hear. "But tell me, how does it feel being married to the woman everyone wants?" The laughter that followed wasn't warm, it was cutting, cruel, the sort that delights in another's discomfort. My wife threw her head back, joining in, her hand resting casually on Kevin's shoulder as though it were harmless. But her eyes flicked to me, waiting for a reaction, like this was a game to see how far she could push. I refused to give her the satisfaction. I smiled faintly, let the silence stretch, and walked toward them, each step measured, deliberate, and enough to unsettle Kevin. I locked eyes with him. "I'd answer your question," I said calmly, "but it seems you're speaking from experience. Tell me, Kevin, how does it feel wanting something you'll never have?" His smirk froze mid-laugh. The air shifted. Conversations died in mid-word. Everyone in the room felt it, the quiet, contained fury that doesn't scream but suffocates. My wife's laughter faltered, her smile melting into disbelief. "What the hell was that, Daniel?" she snapped, her voice rising above the murmurs. "You're embarrassing me." Embarrassing her? Not the man who had insulted me. Not the ridicule she had entertained. Me. I met her gaze and said softly, "No, love. I merely reminded your friend that marriage still holds meaning, even if you've forgotten." That broke something in her. She stepped closer, her perfume sweet, but her words sharp. "Apologize to him," she demanded, voice quivering with anger. "Apologize, or we're done." The room fell silent. Forks paused mid-air. Whispers hovered like ghosts. Everyone expected me to fold, to back down for the sake of peace. But peace had long died between us, buried under her casual disrespect, secret messages, and smug confidence that I would never leave. I held her gaze, letting her see that I was no longer the man who played along with her games. Then I smiled, a slow, calm smile, not of defeat, but of certainty. "Okay," I said. "We're done." Color drained from her face. The words didn't register at first. She blinked, as if she'd misheard. Kevin tried to laugh nervously, but his bravado cracked. "Hey man, it was just a joke," he muttered. I nodded. "Yeah," I said, turning away. "So was our marriage." I set my drink down, straightened my jacket, and walked out. Behind me, the murmurs rose into chaos. She called my name once, twice. I didn't turn. The door closed quietly behind me, but it sounded like freedom. Outside, the night air bit cold, but it felt real, the first honest sensation I'd felt in months. My phone buzzed in my pocket, but I ignored it. I drove aimlessly through the sleeping city, past glowing signs and empty streets, until I reached the overlook where we once promised each other forever. I parked, leaned back, and let silence swallow everything. I wasn't angry anymore. I was empty. And in that emptiness, there was peace. By midnight, the messages started pouring in. Her first was sharp, "How dare you walk out like that?" Then softer ones, "Please call me." I didn't mean it like that. Then desperate, "Come home. We can fix this." I didn't respond. Every word reminded me that she only wanted peace when the audience was gone. For her, apologies were performances, not reflections. By 2 a.m., she arrived at my door. Mascara smudged, voice shaking. She said the words I had once longed to hear, "I'm sorry." But it was too late. Sorry wasn't enough after the debts had been paid in respect. I looked at her and saw the woman who had loved me buried beneath the one addicted to attention. "You made me the villain because I refused to be your fool." "I'm okay with that," I said softly. She reached for my hand, but I stepped back. For the first time, she realized I wasn't bluffing. Tears filled her eyes, real tears, not for cameras, friends, or whispers. Just a woman finally understanding she had laughed her way out of a marriage she thought unbreakable. "You really mean it, don't you?" she whispered. I nodded. "Yes. You said we're done." I just agreed. The next morning, word spread. Friends messaged in confusion, some defended her, others admitted they'd seen it coming. She spent weeks trying to spin the story as a misunderstanding. But lies couldn't hide the truth. I had walked away, and she had learned what done truly meant. It wasn't anger. It wasn't revenge. It was silence, the kind that follows a storm and never ends. Months later, when I saw her again, older, quieter, draped in regret, she said nothing. She didn't need to. The memory of that night was etched in her eyes. She had sought the applause of the crowd. I had chosen my peace. And in the end, the loudest sound between us was the silence she once dared me to give her. Now, she lived in it alone, forever haunted by the night her own joke became her downfall.